on. Pentagon watchdog finds Hexef's use of Signal posed risk to U.S. personnel, AP sources say. By the way, I've noticed a very interesting trend in the Trump administration, and that is the usage of social media to communicate about crucial, delicate business regarding the state, putting personnel at risk, leaking secrets. Apparently, you remember that conversation between Witkoff, special envoy to end the war in Ukraine, and Ushakov, the representative from Russia? Remember the super secret conversation that was happening where Witkoff was couching the Russian, like a coach to the Russian side, telling them how to deal with Donald Trump, how to talk to Donald Trump to get the best results. Apparently, the only reason why we got this conversation, why it leaked, was because it was conducted on WhatsApp. Yes, right. Yeah, that's right. The conversation was apparently held on WhatsApp, which is extremely funny because I just laugh at the idea that important state secret level conversations are being held on the social media communication chat programs such as WhatsApp or Signal. But also I find it especially funny in the Witkoff case because WhatsApp is apparently banned in Russia, and yet the Russian side had no problem in conducting the conversation on WhatsApp, the banned program, the one that Russia forbids in its own country. But we're not talking about the Witkoff conversation right now. We're talking about Mr. Hexes putting troops at risk through the use of Signal. I have to say, I showed a little bit of his restraint when it comes to this dumbass when discussing the Venezuela boat incident in which he ordered a second strike on 2 people clinging to life. But I'm just growing to think that Hexes, I'm not gonna shame him for his alcoholism and problems with abusing alcohol, but I'm growing to think that he just might be a psycho. He just might be a psycho, and I will try my best to make a case for that throughout this segment. Okay? Yeah, the best way not to leave any records of your communication is to conduct the communication through social media programs that are being observed, recorded, and surveilled by the companies that own them. That is surely the best way to not record any communication in these delicate conversations. And of course, that is the best way to ensure that none of it will ever leak. Right? That surely none of it will ever leak and lead to any problems. Okay, let me make my case for this person being a psycho. I think the last thing will be a cherry on top of a very, very well prepared cake when it comes to this. All right, let's look at it. The wider context, of course, being the fact that the United States seems to have shifted to social media to conduct its important conversations, which, again, very comedic, very funny, but also terrifying and horrible at the same time. Let us take a look. The Pentagon's watchdog found that the defense secretary Pete Hegseth put U.S. personnel and their mission at risk when used the Signal messaging app to convey sensitive information about military strike against Yemen's Houthi militants. Two people familiar with the findings said Wednesday. I assume that very, very sensitive data on the personnel was shared during those conversations, and rando journalists were just let in to the group chat because some idiot misclicked, some idiot chose the wrong person from the list, and this is basically how this whole thing leaked. Because in the Trump administration, psychotic behavior and incompetence go hand in hand, which I'm afraid that is not the best combination when it comes to running the most powerful country in the world, combining bloodthirsty behavior with incompetence. It's a very, I feel like this might end badly, but maybe it's just me. I'm just a woke tranny, quote unquote. You know? I'm just a trans person. I should not be making independent decisions. Hegseth, however, has the ability to declassify material, and the report did not find that he did so improperly, according to one of the... Wait, what? Oh, okay. Let me read this again and translate it for you. Let me make... I cannot... I'm sorry, I detracted YouTube. I detracted. Okay, it's okay. I'm gonna cut it out of the segment. I'm too small for any consequence on Twitch. It's okay. Okay, let's read this again. Let's look at this again. Hegseth, however, has the ability to declassify material, and the report did not find he did so improperly. According to one of the people familiar with the findings who spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss the information, the person also said the report concluded that Hegseth violated Pentagon policy by using his personal device for official business, and it recommended better training for all Pentagon officials because, you know what? People in the Trump administration are too stupid to realize that using your personal device for crucial state information, crucial state communication is not the best idea. Because the Trump administration is just infested with idiots, with murderous idiots. And what I can see, what I can glean from this, what is basically being said here is, hey, you know what? That wasn't a leak. That wasn't me at like some kind of an idiot leaking vital information, secret information via Signal. No, that was me declassifying this information. That was me using my ability to declassify the material to share it with the world. Who cares if I put anybody at risk? Who cares about the troops? Who cares about personnel safety? I, Pete Hegseth, the man who does not care about anybody's life, as I have demonstrated during this whole debacle with the Venezuelan ship, have decided to graciously feed you peons with some information that I have declassified. It was totally not an act of incompetence on my part. It was all calculated action. Trust me, okay? Trust me on that one. I was so planned on my part. It could not have been more planned. It's fine. Estelle says, so next time they commit war crimes, they won't be caught gloating about it. Listen, they will declassify this information voluntarily, okay? They're just going to be declassifying it left and right. Hegseth declined to sit for an interview with the Pentagon's Inspector General, but provided a written statement, that person said. The defense secretary asserted that he was permitted to declassify information as he saw fit, and only communicated details he thought would not endanger the mission. What does the headline say again? The use of signal posed risk to U.S. personnel. So I guess he has failed on that account. Okay? He has failed on the part when he was supposed to not endanger the mission. Oh my goodness. What a cretin. The initial findings ramp up the pressure on the former Fox News Channel host. Oh, I completely forgot about that. Well, that makes him even more psychotic in my mind. A Fox host. Oh, God. The Trump administration is such an amazing assembly of business broker, real estate dude, Fox News host. God, what an amazing assembly of high-level professionals, well-leveled, just so stable individuals. I could not even make it up. It's just, you cannot make this up. You cannot. Fox News. I completely forgot about that aspect. A Fox News alcoholic made defense secretary. Just, that hurts. That hurts. But it's not like I can do anything about it. I cannot vote in the US. I blame all of you. I blame all of you who voted or not voted. After lawmakers had called for the independent inquiry into his use of the commercially available app, lawmakers also just opened investigations into a new news report that a follow-up strike on an alleged drug smuggling boat in the Caribbean Sea in September killed survivors after Hegseth issued a verbal order to kill everybody. I mean, some say he did call to kill everybody, some say he didn't. At this point, I am very much willing to believe he did. I have no trust in this drunkard from Fox News. I don't have much trust in this guy. I just don't. It's insane that this guy is able to hold any sort of office, let alone this one. Hegseth defended the strike as emerging in the fog of war. Wasn't there video footage? Isn't there literal video footage of these guys clinging to the boat? I could have sworn there was visual footage, literal visual footage of these people hanging to the. Correct me if I'm incorrect. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was there footage from these people clinging to that boat? I lied. Okay, I lied. I couldn't. The moment I learned, I didn't learn. The moment I got reminded that he was a Fox host, the alcohol, the not talking about alcoholism thing was off the table. If he was just an alcoholic, that's one thing. But he is an alcoholic plus an ex-Fox News host. That makes it different. That makes it different in my eyes. I had alcoholics in my family and they've conducted themselves better than Pete Hegseth. That's the only thing that I'm going to say on the matter. Oh, yeah. Okay, listen to this. I read some of this article, and the justification that Hegseth said for defending the second strike as an emerging in the fog of war is the stupidest, most hilarious at the same time, and just psychotic thing ever. Okay? Okay, listen. Hegseth defended the strike as emerging in the fog of war, saying he did not see any survivors, but also didn't stick around for the rest of the mission, and that the admiral in charge made the right call in ordering the second strike. So, actually, I didn't see any survivors. But then again, I just left. I didn't wait till the end. So I didn't wait for any sort of visual confirmation of the situation at hand. I just didn't care enough. It's just like, whatever. And that's why the second strike is justified, because I could not be bothered to wait till the end of the mission. I just couldn't be bothered. I don't know. I had things to do. I have people to see, places to be. I couldn't be forced to care. He also did not admit fault following the signal revelations, asserting that the information was unclassified. There you go. It's exactly as I said before. It's not a leak. It is called declassification. Who cares if I used a commercial software to talk about these delicate pieces of information? Who cares if I use my personal device to conduct the communication? Who cares? I have the right to declassify. Declassified, high-level professionalism on the highest levels of government. The Inspector General review is a total exoneration of Secretary Hegseth and proves what we knew all along. No classified information was shared. Sean Parnell, the Pentagon's chief spokesman, said in a statement, "This matter is resolved and the case is closed." You know what we call this in our professional circles? You know what we call this? We call this damage control. We call this sort of lingo damage control. Not good. Not good just here to watch a trash fire. You might just end up like Pete Hegseth. You might just end up being Pete Hegseth 2.0. President Donald Trump stands by Hegseth, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said in a statement. Yeah, because he is also a psychotic killer, actually. Of course, he would stand by him, by his buddy. Of course. Adding that the probe affirms that no classified information was leaked and operational security was not compromised. Oh, wait. But this next part seems to contradict what was said above. Are you saying that I cannot trust Donald Trump and his probing? It was classified if he claims he declassified it, for fuck's sake. Well, yeah, but you're missing the point. The point is that it was not classified anymore at the point of him sharing it like a dumbass on a commercial chat engine. We have investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing. True. I mean, what can I say? Don't you trust a former Fox host? In at least 2 separate Signal chats, because I guess one time was not enough. there had to be two separate Signal chats because Signal is such a cool software. Maybe Hexef was just sponsored by, maybe Hexef ran out of alcohol. Yeah, I'm going to do a jab, a little bit of alcoholism jab. Maybe Hexef was low on booze. He needed money, so he was sponsored by Signal. Today's sponsor in our classified conversation is Signal, the very chat program that we're using. I recommend all of you, well, I already forced all of you to download it and use it, but I highly recommend all of you to share this program with all of your family, friends, and relatives, and all of the combinations, because I need my money, allegedly. In at least two separate Signal chats, Hexef provided the exact timings of warplane launches and when bombs would drop. That does not sound like classified material to me. That seems like public knowledge. It seems like something that anybody should have access to, such knowledge. It feels fine to me. I don't see a problem. The probe was right. Before the men and women carrying out these attacks on behalf of the United States were airborne. Uh-oh. Wait, is this article imply that those people were put at risk by this information just being leaked like that? Is that the implication here? No. It's fine. The information was declassified at that point. Hexef's use of the app came to light when a journalist, Jeffrey Goldberg of The Atlantic, was inadvertently added to a Signal text chat chain by then National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. Well done, Mike. Well done. It included Vice President J.D. Vance, another loon, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, spineless coward, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, and others brought together to discuss March 15th military operations against the Iran-backed Houthis. Hexef had created another Signal chat with 13 people that included his wife and brother, where he shared similar details of the same strike, the Associated Press reported. I can imagine how that went. I can imagine he had a few too many to drink and his brother, was a brother? Yeah, wife and brother. They were like, come on, Pete, come on. Let us in the talks. Come on, show us some of your work, Pete. You're really a big shot in the government. We don't believe you. Let us in the little chat. Let us see how you conduct your work, what you talk about with these people. Come on. Nothing wrong can go with it. Come on, we're family. Sharing is caring, Pete. Come on, we'll pour you another one. Oh, goodness. Adding a reporter by mistake is one thing, but adding your wife and brother is... Why? Why would you do that? It's just insanity. The highest order. Signal is encrypted, but it is not authorized for carrying classified information, and it is not part of the Pentagon's secure communication. No shit. No shit is a public commercialized software, not part of the Pentagon's secure communication network. No shit. What a shocker. I was actually convinced that it was part of the Pentagon Secure Communications Network. Well, you know what? I stand corrected. I guess I stand corrected. Hexef previously has said none of the information shared in the chats was classified. Multiple current and former military officials have told the Associated Press there was no way details with that specificity, especially before a strike took place, would have been okay to share on an unsecured device. Unsecured device. It's fine to use your personal device. Who cares? Who's gonna know? Who's gonna know? The review was delivered to lawmakers who were able to review the report in a classified facility at the Capitol. A partially redacted version of the report was expected to be released publicly later this week. Hegseth said he viewed the investigation as a partisan exercise and did not trust the Inspector General, according to one of the people familiar with the report's findings. Of course, it's all a Democratic hoax. The review had to rely on screenshots of the Signal chat published by The Atlantic because Hegseth could not provide more than a small handful of his Signal messages, the person said. When asked about the investigation in August, Pentagon Press Secretary Kingsley Wilson told reporters that we believe that this is a witch hunt and a total sham and being conducted in bad faith. Because of course, all sort of responsibility, all sort of, seeking for people to actually have to show any sort of, it just seems like people in the Trump administration can do whatever they want without any repercussions. And whenever an investigation starts into any of the crazy shit that they do, it's a hoax. It's just a witch hunt. It's just a witch hunt. There's nothing to see here, anybody. Nobody was endangered. It was all declassified information. It's all just a Democratic hoax perpetuated by the fake news. There's nothing to see here. Everything was done according to protocol. Everything is kosher. We shouldn't be even talking about it. I should just shut up and not talk about it. Lawmakers had called for Inspector General to investigate. The revelations sparked intense scrutiny. Witch hunt? With Democratic lawmakers and small number of Republicans saying Hegseth posting the information to the Signal chats before the military jets had reached their targets potentially put those pilots' life at risk. Yeah, but you're forgetting one thing, okay? These people forgot one thing. Pete Hegseth does not care about anybody's lives. He just doesn't give a shit. He has proven that time and time again very recently that just he does not care. So like the only way he will learn anything from this is that if he faces any legal repercussions, which, you know what, somehow I am highly doubtful that will happen. I don't know, color me skeptical, but somehow I just don't know. I just don't think anything will come of this. The Inspector General had opened its investigation into Hegseth at the request of the Republican chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, Senator Roger Wicker of Mississippi, and the committee's top Democrat, Senator Jack Lee of Rhode Island. Whew. Aren't you glad this guy is in the position that he is in? Don't you feel safe when this guy? Don't you feel safe? I mean, not all of you are Americans, but I don't know. I feel like things are going well. I feel like things are going well. We're not done yet. I'm gonna give you an amazing dessert at the end of this. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be the best thing ever. It all ties back to the campaign against Yemen's Houthis. The Houthi rebels had started launching missile and drone attacks against commercial and military ships in late 2023 in what their leadership had described as an effort to end Israel's offensive against Hamas in the Gaza Strip. Wow. I just wonder what sort of app did the Houthis organize this on? Was it WhatsApp? Was it Kik? Was it Signal? Who knows? We will never know, I guess. Their campaign greatly reduced the flow of trade through the Red Sea corridor, which typically sees 1 trillion of goods move through it annually. The US-led campaign against the Houthis in 2024 turned into the most intense running sea battle the Navy had faced since World War II. A ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war had begun in January before falling apart in March. The US then launched a broad assault against the Houthis that ended weeks later when Trump said they pledged to stop attacking ships. The latest Gaza ceasefire began in October. Following the disclosure of Hexef's Signal chat that included The Atlantic's editor, the magazine released the entire thread in late March. Hexef had posted multiple details about an impending strike using military language and laying out when a strike window starts, where a target terrorist was located, the time elements around the attack, and the various weapons and aircraft would be used in the strike. He mentioned that the US was currently clean on operational security. Well, I guess not. Hexef told Fox News Channel in April that what he shared over Signal was informal, unclassified coordinations for media coordinations and others. Yeah, sure, of course. It was all declassified. Yep. And now okay, so let me make this clear. After all the sarcasm, after all the crap that I've said, this definitely endangered personnel. It was definitely classified information that should not have leaked ever. It never should have been conducted on Signal. I am very terrified by the fact that I have to say this, but I guess I do. And it should not be a viable excuse for Hexef to just say post hoc, oh yeah, I declassified it. It's all good. It was just informal talk. This loon should be removed from office. But if I said that about every person in Trump's cabinet, then I'd just say that we need to remove every single person from the Trump cabinet. And that would not be very productive now, would it? But the fact remains that it's part of a bigger trend of sharing classified information on the social media, or rather on commercial software that is not classified at all. And what can I say? Hexef is just a psycho. In fact, I'm just gonna leave you with something interesting, okay? I'm just gonna leave you with this, because I promised to make my case that Hexef is a psycho, okay? And I think there's no better way for me to demonstrate what a psycho he is as to show you this little thing. One moment. I'm going to show it to you in a second. I think we're going to end on this note because it's just hilarious. This is how much respect Hexef has for human life. This is it in a nutshell. This is how seriously he treats very serious topics, okay?
If you could host a dinner party with 3 people dead or alive, Who's coming to the table, and what are you eating?
Oh my goodness. Go ahead, babe. You go.
Me go.
Yeah.
Well, you pick one and I'll pick one.
No, I mean, I think you've, well, at this point, I think it would be President Trump, Vladimir Putin, and Zelensky. See what happens.
See what happens. What are we eating?
Ooh, what are we? I'm no comment on that. Whatever the steaks, just whatever the president wants. We'll see what happens. There'd be a dinner for peace.
It would be steaks, well done, French fries.
Done. And Russian dressing.
Yes. If you could host.
Should I even comment? Should I even comment on that? I don't think this needs a comment. I think this speaks for itself. Haha, there's a war, biggest war since World War II. We're just gonna have a little dinner for peace with steaks and salad. Russian dressing, am I right? Yeah. Yep. Psycho behavior, but what do we even expect at this point?